Tuesday, everyone. So we're back again. As you already know or don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, my name is Teresa. I am from Paranormal Truth Seekers. Joining me tonight, and as always, hopefully, is Scott Wise. He is from Ghostly Gateway Paranormal. You want to say a little about yourself, Scott?
Sure. All right. How I got interested in the paranormal, I'll start there. Um, Ever since I can remember, I was always interested in the paranormal, and I would read about it, everything I could. I'd get all library books out, read them all. So that's how I got into it. And so later on in my life, I got a chance to do something about it. I got in contact with a group from Pennsylvania. That's where I used to live. I got with them and did some investigations with them, and then I had a friend of mine, Don, who joined me on that team. And after a couple of years, we decided to do our own team. Uh, there we went on to a group called Ghost and Spirit Paranormal. Later joined by Bill, a good friend of ours who was a techie. Once we got together, we got to do tons of investigations. Um, a lot of residential ones, we did a lot of those. And we got these different states to do investigations. We got to do a jailhouse, we got to do, um, how else we do? Historical museum, fire museums. We just had a ball. And then what happened in 2016, after a few years, I was diagnosed with cerebral ataxia, and I decided we had to move to Columbus, Ohio, where I'm residing now. After about a year out here, I tried to get into teams out here, and nobody's really into it. So I decided to do one of my own, which I am. That's that Gateway Paranormal Investigations. Right now, we have three members, including me. I just brought a new member on, Jason, and that's about it. And we're planning on getting out and do some cemeteries. We are talking about that the other day. I hope to get some investigations in. So that's about it.
Yes, I like the cemeteries.
Oh, God, yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, um, my team has always been Paranormal Truth Seekers. We started back in about 2007. Now my journey into this started, oh wow, years before. Um, so what really got me interested in the paranormal was I had some experiences when I was a kid. And of course, when you're young like that, you don't really understand what's happening. You just know that there's something happening and you really can't understand it or explain it. So once I got a little bit older and I felt a lot more comfortable with talking to like my parents about what was happening and my brothers about what was happening and some other friends, uh, I actually found out that one of my really close friends was kind of experienced some of the same things at her house. So that is actually where my journey into teens really started. So she had an older brother who just so happened to kind of be out there and doing some investigations with, a team. And you had little tater tot Teresa at about 14 years old. And that's actually when I joined my first paranormal team. Um, Local areas, it wasn't like we really did any, residential cases or businesses or anything like that. It was just, the local public places like your cemeteries. Um, and then when I was about 16 years old, I had joined another team, a local team from where I was born and raised. Um, so I reside in Indiana now. but I was actually born and raised in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. It's kind of always my home kind of thing because I spent so long there. But I have been out in Indiana for a little over a year now. So I was with them for probably about a year. Um, and then we had something happen actually in Gettysburg. And it was one of those things where I didn't appreciate how how the person kind of approached things, and that's what got me out of that team. And then I was solo, just doing things solo on my own for many many years. And then when I was in my early 20s, um, ended up meeting a girl that had the same interest. I mean, same exact interest as me. Same exact interest as actually wanting to really do something with it, other than uh, just going to Gettysburg, every weekend kind of thing. Um, so that's when Paranormal Truth Seekers was actually founded then, was in, like I said, I think it was about 2007. So yeah, it's been quite the journey. And Scott and I actually met because of the gentleman that he was speaking about earlier, Don and Bill. So Bill became part of Paranormal Truth Seekers a few years back. And then Don started tagging along and joined the team and started doing investigations. And it was what Heidelman Mansion would have been
All of it, yeah.
the
All,
first time that
yep,
we had met each other.
yep.
So we did an investigation in Pennsylvania. A beautiful home, actually beautiful property. Um, yeah, and that is where Scott and I's journey into all of this really began. Um, Once he found out that I was in Indiana, we started talking a lot more, and we both kind of brainstormed the idea of, hey, I'm in Indiana, you're in Ohio, like, let's team up and make this happen. Like,
No,
and here we are.
yeah, it's only an hour and a half away. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Which is nice because, for Scott and I, neither one of us mind traveling. Most of the people that we are very familiar with investigating with are still back in Pennsylvania. So the cool thing about it is, as long as we have enough time and we can plan ahead for some of the investigations that we do in states that are, East Coast kind of thing. The cool thing about it is we don't mind traveling, and we'll travel. And then we've got our own little connection kind of pod, going on out here where, we've got, I mean, all of Ohio that we could really venture around into. We've got all of Indiana now. And, we have the surrounding states that are around, us too. So it's really kind of opened the doors up for us with more states that we can get to
right.
be able to investigate places.
And there's tons of stuff in Ohio. And like you said, Indiana has a lot of stuff too.
Yes.
You said there's a lot of stuff out there.
There's a lot of stuff in Michigan too.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
would definitely like to get to Michigan sometime too.
Road trip.
Yes, I like road trips. So yeah, it's kind of nice because at least this has become a thing where we have investigated, together before. And, two of the main people that are, part of our teams, we've all investigated together before too. So we really kind of we've become a family. I'm everyone's little sister.
Yeah. Mom, Steve.
Yeah, all of my guys are my big brothers. So my
Your
my
boy,
protectors and guardians.
your boys,
My boys.
your boys.
Just add them to the family. Yes, you're definitely my boys. And that's how I refer. That is how I refer to to you guys too. It's we we are individually people and as a team where we can joke around with each other, we can have fun with each other. you know when we're on an investigation, we're very professional, but we also you have to have fun. If you can't have fun with the people that you're on a team with or the people that you are working with, at least this is how I feel in this field, in this community, it doesn't work. You have to mesh well together. And if you don't, I mean, well, we found out before, I found out before,
I do too.
it causes a lot of
Yeah.
very unnecessary drama. And then unfortunately, you're not achieving what you want to achieve in being in this kind of community. This is a huge community. I mean, huge community. And what I like about it is as the years go by, and Scott, you can vouch for this too, you know, more people are becoming so much more accepting of this. And more people are willing to put it out there that, yes, this is what I do. Like I've went and I've investigated this place. I've gone, before it was, even if you were an investigator, you really didn't talk about it. You weren't as open as what so many people in this community are nowadays.
Yeah, you always get to look. And when I first started back in, I guess it was in 2008, I think it was when I started off, I had people ask me about it, and they kind of just rolled their eyes a little bit. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
if you're doing something, and like right now, how many years later, I'm still doing it. So,
Well, and that's the thing, and I think this is why we all get along so well, and why it's like taking a puzzle and putting the puzzle together. You have to have the pieces fit just right to put that puzzle together. We as individuals, we are the pieces of that puzzle, and we have come together and we connect very well to make the whole picture kind of like thing. We share the same passion for this. We share the same drive for this. It's one of those things for me, and I know my guys, my boys, they feel the same way. Is you can't be egotistical in this field, because there is always something new you can be learning. There's always something new you can be learning. Oh, we have a guest from Singapore.
Singapore.
Hello, thank you for joining. So I think that's always been one of the very nice things about all of us coming together and teaming up and working together, is none of us are egotistical. We are very open-minded people, and we are willing to accept that there's always more to learn in this field. Even when we think we've got something figured out, I mean, it's almost like that's when it tends to throw you another curveball. You know what I mean? Like you find something else out, or you look at a different concept of the paranormal and how you can research, or the resources that we can use on an investigation. We all share that with each other, which is super cool for all of us.
Yeah, but it's never ending what you expect when you go to these places. You go,
Yeah.
you go like 2 or 3 times, you might get something a lot or something different each time.
Yes.
So that's why I like to do different places, more than once.
Yes. For me, prime example, Selma. So Selma Mansion is in Norristown, Pennsylvania, for those viewers. But it's in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Beautiful, very historic mansion. And when we go back in January, that's going to be my fourth time at this location.
Probably. You suck.
But I will tell you, just like what you were talking about, it is
Mhm.
each and every single time I have been there, we have experienced something different. Now, we've had the same occurrences happen, but we've also had so many other different things happen. Like our
Right.
first time there, it was nonstop. It, damn, you couldn't even turn around without like something happening again. It was just thing after thing after thing. Our second time there, well, it started out really slow. It started out really quiet. So like you said, you kind of almost want to go back to a place more than once to see what changes, may happen. Are you shushing the kid?
Uh, yeah, I am actually.
I'm surprised mine. And yes, y'all, you have to understand, like we are parents.
Kids, and kids and dogs.
Yes, yeah. You might see some dogs at times. You might see some kids. Yeah.
Up
With
my
my
lap.
two, with my two younger ones, be prepared. You never know what you might see. Little
Yeah.
toddler streaking by. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one of the very cool things about this field and being with people, and we trust each other. I think you have to have trust, and you have to have a lot of trust in the people that you are working with in this field. If I can't trust my team, if I can't trust the people that I am investigating with, it's going to make you very uneasy, and that's not how you want to feel going into any investigation. You want to have a clear mind, and
Welcome to the show, Wild. What's your name? Thanks for. I'm horrible on pronouncing names, so welcome to the show.
hola, hola. So yeah, and I know, Scott, you can definitely vouch for me there too. You have to have trust in the people that you do this with.
Well, that's the problem I had in the first team I had, so I'm not going to name names, but
Right. Well, unfortunately, there are, how do I word this without kind of coming off dickish, okay? Like, you have your really good, honest, decent people in this field,
me.
in this community. And then you have the people in this community that are, all they want to do is, bash on other teams because they may have a different technique or a different style, or they just don't like the team as a whole, and they have no problem going out there in this community and publicly bashing these people, these other teams. I have no tolerance for that. You know, I actually think
it's a waste of energy.
think
It's
about
just,
it. It's a waste of
makes
it's a
sense.
waste
It's
of
just-
energy. It takes more energy out of a person to be negative. Okay? But it's also very reckless to your own self-image, to your own team. It's very irresponsible. It's really immature. And if if you're an adult in this community, because there are children in this community, um, and the longer we do this, it has been really, really awesome to actually see more kids coming out and being a part of this community. You know, I was a kid when I started, and if my parents would not have trusted the people that I was with, my journey in this never would have started, as far back as it did.
Right.
Me starting and joining my first team when I was 14, it opened up the doors for me. It opened up the doors for the future for me with how I proceeded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been nice because, this is where my journey has taken me. And I feel comfortable. I feel very comfortable with my team, with the people that I investigate with. And like I said earlier, if you don't have that, something needs to change, because you really shouldn't have that kind of feeling when you're investigating with people. You should be able to trust them.
All right.
So I guess we have to start training my 13-year-old, because he's all gung-ho and he's ready. He is ready.
Yeah. Take him to his L.
He did. Oh, well, it's so funny that you say that. He literally just asked me the other day. He was like, "Can I come along to Hinsdale with you?" And I was like,
No.
"Well, you got this thing called school."
Yeah.
No. Like, I love you, child, but no, you can't come along, because we're going to be heading back on Friday. His ass has school on Friday.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, it's nice to see, okay, for those of you who don't know me personally, I have 3 of my own children. I'm raising all boys here. Lord help me. But, I've got 3 of my own, and then I have others that I have raised who aren't my own that I still call my children, and they're all boys. And it's been awesome to see these boys grow up
We have a question.
and really show interest in it.
No.
Ooh, I have not.
I'll have to put that in my notes. That sounds interesting.
I mean, you can elaborate for us, if you want to. Oh, I know. I'm so upset about it. What makes me upset is seeing what this has done to my child. He's only 6. So for him, it's rationalizing, like, how could someone do this? Why would someone steal my bike? Like, it's hard. And of course, I mean, he has to have the same bike.
It's
Like,
hard
he
to
wants
explain to a
the
kid
same
there's new kind of people in the world. There is. And it's the sooner you learn.
Yeah, and it's like I told him the other day, there's a lot of lessons that you need to walk away from this situation learning. First and foremost is, yes, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad people out there in this world, okay?
Oh,
But, secondly, and like Scott, you got to hear it when I was kind of, reaming him a new one the other day.
Yeah.
But, another lesson to take away from what had happened was he is fully aware. When he's done riding his bike should have been taken and put in the garage. And he did not do that.
Right. That's
It's
hard way to learn lesson, but
yeah, a very sucky way of learning a very valuable lesson. You take care of your things. You don't take care of your things, and, well, unfortunately, this is the chance that you take. And it bounced off.
oh,
So it's got mass to it.
wow. I'm gonna look this up when I get a chance to. I
I
am.
was gonna say, like, are you writing this down?
I'm
Cause
gonna start Third Rocks at Ghost if I see them. Or soon
good
though.
Lord, Scott. Now look, you just gave my boy ideas. He's got
I'm gonna get back up. Box of rocks. I'm not talking Rolling Rock. Box of rocks.
Well, hey, it'd be a new technique for us, I guess you could say. Just throw rocks at them and see what happens. You never know. I mean, we've had shit thrown at us,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah. Might get thrown back
Paperback's
at
a
us.
bitch, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny because I was telling you about the one team that I was on and how I had seen something and it really bothered me, kind of deal. So, like the second team that I was on, the whatever you want to call him, the leader, not much of a leader in my honest opinion, but the leader, he was very egotistical, and we were walking around in the Spangler Spring area, and we already had a good bit of activity that was happening, and he just got very, very cocky, and he was just like, show yourself, or something along those lines. And I'm telling you, within seconds, his cowboy hat went flying, and then, like, a second later, he went flying. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what you get for being cocky. Like, you had it coming.
We got a wiki link to that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It'll be in the comments too if you want to write it down. So, all right, here's another question.
Well, I mean, we actually use a lot of different.
Lot of stuff.
You want to go into that while I write this stuff down?
Oh, yeah. In fact, you could probably show some stuff you got.
I did. I just got some new toys. I love new toys.
Well, my favorite thing is just a voice recorder. That's my favorite one. That's where I get most of my evidence from. We do have other. I mean, Bill has a lot of different stuff. He uses the Xbox.
The Kinect.
The Kinect, yeah. Which is neat. Video cameras set up infrared, night vision.
Oh shit! Just spelled that wrong.
We're always trying something different. I mean, if I find different techniques online, we'll try them at the next investigation. I mean, that's basically
Oh no,
how
you're
we
good,
do.
honey. You're not gonna spam our live feed. We
No.
actually enjoy this, so yeah, you're fine.
And so there's a lot of different sites that you can go on to if you're interested, and just look up different techniques and
I think the most common ones that we use would be to capture EVPs. We use recorders. We use, voice recorders. We use the camcorders that have, night vision. Now, yes, typically we do have to use, an IR light even with a night vision camcorder, because it gives us a better broad, to be able to see. The mel meters. We use the oh Lord, I'm drawing a blank here. Dang it, Scott. But yes, we also use the EMF detectors. There we go. Had a total brain fart, guys. But
you're welcome.
we use the EMF detectors too. EMF detectors come handy for us, more so in places where there isn't any power at all in this location, or there's like next to no power. An EMF detects the magnetic field. So you go into, let's just say, a residential home, and we're investigating a residential home. It's going to be one of those things where, wires, your TVs, your appliances, they're going to put off. But if you are in an area where there's absolutely, like maybe a bedroom or something where there might just be a TV in it, and you're in the center of the room, but then this EMF detector goes absolutely nuts. Well, there's something that is causing that. You know what I mean? Like you're not just going to get spikes of EMFs in a random place like that.
Right.
So we also use EMFs.
We used to do sweeps too. Before,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice because if you go into a location like that, especially a location like that, you want to get a what we call a ground sweep. So when you go into a business, a residence, okay, because of the appliances, because of what may be our base EMF in this location. So then you're looking for spikes really of anything above what is your base.
you got his pops to the engineer for Ampex, and he has background data capture all. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Let's try that in the field. That's cool.
Sorry, I'm going back over the because I know I missed some.
He did one of your Facebook.
Over issues in Georgia. Ooh, you what's this? You got some spicy dirt?
No. Oh, you're talking nasty. Okay, I must have missed that one. I went there.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta start keep up.
Damn it, Scott.
I knew. I suck at this job.
You're fired.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I did.
Oh, plan motions too.
I got
cool.
I got myself some new toys, some new equipment the other day. Here, give me a minute, and I'll go because I got them stashed away already, so the boys don't get to them. Move.
Yeah, I've heard about that plan motions.
No.
I never thought about. I want to hear.
No. All right.
That's funny. Hey, you gotta read this one, please. Wow.
Oh. Well, damn. Hey, I'm telling you, I know some people.
I've heard already. I believe that stuff. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I was always a believer of that stuff.
and of course, you gotta be careful with, but so there is a company that works very, very closely with the military, and my husband and I, he actually has a family member who used to work at this location. And I'll put it to you this way, when you hear the stories about how, people have these jobs that are related to the military and they just up and leave one day and can't tell their family, can't tell their wife, can't tell their kids where they're going, like, it's real shit. There's no exaggeration.
Right. Well, I was thinking about.
My husband actually had somebody in his family where that's exactly how it was.
Well, I was thinking to do a future show on UFOs and abductions, so that might be a future show for us.
Oh, that would be so cool because, I get, now that you mention this, I get asked a lot, so are we just like ghost hunters? Or, is that what the paranormal, And I'm like, well, the paranormal is actually a huge spectrum. You know,
Yes,
if you
cryptozoology, there's all that stuff out there,
yes,
so right?
absolutely. The paranormal is really kind of, to sum it all up, it's the unknown. Okay? So like Bigfoot, Sasquatch,
Yeah.
you know, these kind of all they do, don't kind of, but they do all fall under the category of paranormal. UFOs. Well, UFO is an unidentified flying object. What do they call the ones that? Oh damn it! What do they call the ones that like come out of the water? They don't
It,
call them
it's
UFOs. They
sub
got like
sub
a.
submerse. I forgot what it's called. I actually did a show on that with
But
my
I mean,
other radio show. I can't remember what it was called.
so yeah, I mean I do. I think that would be very interesting for us to. That would be a really good discussion one night, honestly, and I think maybe that's something we should do like on a Friday night, like one of our Friday night shows, because I think if we got a good bit of viewers in and really involved with us, that's probably something that we could
Oh,
seriously.
I was right. It's under unidentified submerged objects.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew they had an actual. I just couldn't think about it. And it's crazy when you really start to think about some of these other realms of the paranormal, because, like I said, it's not just about spirits, um, but it's something that I do get very frequently asked about. Is, well, have you ever done this? And I will tell you, uh, many years ago, I guess many years ago for me, okay, many years ago, um, we actually did investigate lights in the sky that was happening consistently in Pennsylvania. So I have done it before, and I will tell you, in the, what, 3 days? 3 days that we spent doing that, I walked away from that experience definitely asking myself a hell of a lot more questions than what I ever did going into that. Um, Something else that I've done some researching on, and kind of would really like to dig into it a little bit more. But I don't know, Scott, have you ever heard about like oh my God, now I can't think of what the actual name for them are. But they're located, at least where it has been researched, is Kentucky. And it's just like these little kind of alien like beings.
Cryptids?
I don't think that's what I mean, yeah, that's what they are, but they actually have like a name for these little creatures. Um Shit. What was that show that I called? Hellier? Have you ever watched Hellier?
Yeah, I saw hell yeah.
That's what I watched. And actually what got me watching that was a girlfriend of mine like called me the one day and she was like, "Teresa, have you ever heard of this?" And I'm like, "What? What? No? What the hell's Hellier?" She was like, "You have to watch this." And okay, I'm not saying that, I agree with maybe everything that it actually went on in this Hellier series, because it was a series, a small series. But it was very intriguing, and definitely something for me personally that I would love to research more about, because the little creatures and being in like tunneling systems and old military, like your old military like grounds, stories like that have been around ever since I was a little girl. I can remember growing up hearing stories about them. So it's not something that's just based in Kentucky. I mean, this is something that people have seen these little creatures
Are they
in
called
a lot.
are they called space goblins?
They should be called space goblins.
That's how I found them down there. That's what I see here, but I'm not sure what they're called. I can't remember.
I
Really
mean,
not.
and it's funny to it's interesting. I guess I shouldn't use the word funny, but it's interesting. It's very interesting and very intriguing to see how over the years different people that have actually supposedly, we're going to say supposedly because I sure in the hell can't prove it, okay? And I know my boy Scott can't either. But, you know, for these people who have supposedly had an experience with alien life, has it not been like a wild journey to see how I mean, just in the last 10 years, you know, they've evolved and they look differently. You know, they almost kind of look more like human-like versus so alienish, if that makes sense.
In Hawaii, they're called Menehune. Is that right? That pronounced right?
Menehune.
Menehune.
I'm sure there's like a twist of an accent to it because of the Hawaiians.
Right.
They
I
have
guess
that.
all depends what area you are to what they're called. But yeah,
Yeah, and then you have, and it was so cool to hear Jason talk about it. You know, Jason joined us our last, you know, stream. It was so cool to hear him talk about it because, you know, one of those other things that I've been very interested in, but you know, you're least likely to experience something like this, especially out here. You know, Scott and I are, you know, Midwestern states here. You know, they're more so known to be around water. But is your creatures that are like part reptile, part human?
yep.
You know, and that is a phenomenon that there again, it has been happening for years.
Could be
And
aliens.
well, I mean, think
No
about it.
idea.
With where we're at now, with the whole alien life form kind of thing, you know, some of the research that you do really does tell you that, dude, they're living among us. They look just like you and I. But they're almost kind of like shapeshifters, which I would love to do more research on and actually go somewhere where these phenomenons are actually witnessed a great deal. Where was it with it's not our country. Where the hell? But like the witch. Is that Mexico? Where it is, I mean, it's very well known about, you know, you could be cruising down the road and out of nowhere you see this very creepy, witchy, and from what they say, like pretty much in a nutshell, is like this bitch starts like walking towards you or walking backwards towards you, like you need to get the hell out of there, like ASAP, because something bad's about to happen. I mean, I've watched videos already where people have taken their raggedy ass, riggedy ass cars, literally off road in a field or something to avoid one of these things. So there's, you know, when you think about these things and how many people have had these experiences, there has to be some kind of truth behind it. The
Yeah.
Mothman.
Oh, man.
Like, have you ever like thought about the Mothman? What are you doing? I told you eventually one of my little creatures would, try to sneak in.
Little man, just.
Child, no, go on. Ooh, a cross between a
Uh,
spider monkey and raccoon. Did you see that comment, Scott?
yeah. I had it up there for a minute.
In a desert, they look like
Yeah.
jackrabbits walking on their hind legs.
Oh, you saw that one?
Yes, and see, and it's so funny. It is so funny because I have heard that before.
I remember that one too, yeah. Wow.
Liam Guinness.
Here's a big boy.
Young man, you know better. Go.
Means- Oh,
Wow.
that's sad. Ooh.
Oh my God. And there's so many people that God knows. You know, I would have loved to have had the opportunity to meet. I'm in my 30s now, and I still have people within this community where I would absolutely love to meet them and sit down and just listen to them talk about, all of their experiences, all of the stories they have to tell. I am so glad that this community has really become what it is today. And I can't wait. I really honestly cannot wait to see how far this goes. You know, we have teams that are out there and they are very specifically with paranormal, when it comes to spirits. You have teams that are out there that very specifically focus on like your Bigfoot, your Sasquatch, your Yeti. You have teams out there, especially down south, you know, that they focus more on the ones where I don't know, you want to call it alienish, kind of whatever. But, like the ones that are reptile-ish, but like humanish. You know, you have this community has teams that are very specifically researching these things, but then like our teams, you know, will if it is if it's revolved around the paranormal, we're gonna research it. Especially if we get asked to.
Right.
So, well, Kat, it's funny that you asked me this. So, homegirl here and I used to work together.
Hey, home girl.
And we've had discussions before at a client's house. We work for clients, and it was one of those things where people were experiencing stuff in her house, and because everyone knew that, oh, well, Teresa's a paranormal researcher, it's like we're gonna ask her if she's noticed this stuff, and I would just sit back and giggle because I knew who it was, and I had actually already set up equipment with the permission from the family, and I'd already captured stuff in the client's home. So it's I'm gonna say it depends on who you're talking to, okay? Because now you're gonna ask specifically, are you asking Scott and I, do we believe if ghosts are real? Because both of us are probably gonna tell you yes. You know, we believe they're real. We've been doing this for so many years that, okay, after a while, and it's good to have, especially when you're first starting out, it's good to have some skepticism. Okay, that's what makes for a really good investigator when you first start out. And also in the years to come. Because if you are so quick to believe everything, then you're not willing to debunk anything.
Well, I think that you have to be skeptic to do this anyways.
You do.
You have to be skeptical. That's how you really start.
You do. And you can't be so quick to just want to believe everything you hear or see as soon as you hear or see it. I can't name how many times I took a picture and at first I was like, oh, what the fuck? But then, after I got myself grounded again, and I really looked into it, I'm like, no, okay, that is a reflection off of this, bouncing off of this, which caused that to look like an apparition. You know, you really have to do some deep digging, in my opinion, to be in this field and do it properly. Because if you're willing to believe the first thing that you see, or I mean, Scott, how many EVPs have we thrown away? Because there was a shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
You know, we don't put it out there to our followers and our fans. We don't put it out
Right.
there in our web pages, our Facebook pages, our, you know, we don't even put it out there because if we have a shadow of doubt, we toss it. We don't hold on to it. But in the same token with that, Kat, you could ask a lot of other people, do they believe? And you're going to get a no answer. So for someone to ask that question, I think, honestly, it really honestly just depends on who you're asking. You know, if you're asking me personally, I'm going to say beyond a shadow of a doubt because of the experiences that I have had, especially starting at such a young age, absolutely. But
Same here. So
I'm still not going to be so quick to just write everything off as being paranormal, you know?
Yeah, well, another thing is you got people out there who are putting stuff up that aren't real, fake stuff. It's hard to tell anymore because with Photoshop, all kind of stuff now, and you can do their stuff to video so easy.
Oh, well, you have these apps now
where
you can literally take, you know, a ghostly apparition and just slap that bad boy into any picture. You know, the cool thing.
It's insulting to us trying to get stuff. I mean, it's just it pisses me off a little.
Look, if you're doing it to mess with your friends, okay, whatever, that's on you. You come to me and you're showing me these pictures and saying, this is what's going on at my house. I need help. And we debunk your pictures. I find out that you use software to add that into a picture, which, yes, we can do. I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I got a program for that, so don't even try it with me.
There was a place, and I don't, oh, dear God. I mean, it came out, and when it came out, it was huge. It was all over the internet. Investigation teams that were already there came out. They were talking about how pissed off, and actually, it was an investigation team that debunked all this shit. Do you remember a few years back? It was a business. Damn it, was it like a bar or something?
Was the ghost hunter that had a thing behind the mirror?
It was a bunch of different shit.
Yeah, and they had like things swinging back and forth that raised up in the attic.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
It was like they had.
That was Jason Halls and the ghost hunting group, I think.
that like pinpointed it, that
Oh
figured it
yeah,
out. Yes,
yeah.
I think you.
They were
Yes,
pissed.
I think you're right. Yeah, and I mean, and that started a backlash of other teams coming out and being like, like what the, like, why? Why would you do that? For one, you are taking time away from a paranormal research team
He spends
that
money coming there, doing
could have
stuff.
been, yes,
Yeah.
and could have been spending that time either helping a family out that truly has something going on in their home and it's affecting especially children. You know,
Or being with your family.
yes, you're damn right. I mean, I mean, ask my son about it. We were here 2 days. I think it was only our second night here. And the old man in this house actually revealed himself to my 13-year-old son before he did me.
Mm.
And it was, I'll tell you, it was one of those things where it was kind of like a kind of moment between my son and I. So, like, we're chilling in the living room, and he was playing Xbox. I was on my phone doing something, watching videos, something. And, like, I see him shoot his head back and look at me, and I'm like, I got my earbuds in, and I'm like, he's like, Mom. And I could see him mouth, like, Mom. So I took out my earbuds, and I was like, what, buddy? He was like, you didn't hear that? I got earbuds crammed in my ear. I didn't hear anything, Now, for anyone who knows my child well enough, when he is like eyeballs deep into a video game, he's not going to just stop playing, especially turn it off, okay? So we're sitting there, and I was like, what did you hear? He was like, I heard an old man. I'm like, okay. So Mom's first instincts is, I'm getting up, I'm looking out every window, I'm opening the front door, I'm looking outside. I've got windows that are open because it's hot as balls, at that point in time. So I've got windows that are open. I'm thinking, is someone creeping around the house? Is that what he heard? So, I start closing windows. I turn the air on. It was probably just somebody outside, bud. Don't worry about it, kind of like thing. All right, we're sitting there, and he's like, how don't you hear this? And now I can really see the expression on this kid's face. Like, I know without a shadow of doubt this child is hearing something that I'm not hearing yet. So he turns his video game off. I mean, just turns it off. And I'm like, are you sick? Are you ill? Like, this kid just turned his video game off. So he's like, Mom, listen. I didn't hear him. I saw him. So with where I was sitting in the living room, out of the corner of my eye, I saw him walk from the hallway to the bedroom upstairs. And Noah and I both look at each other at the same time because both of us actually heard the footsteps on the stairs. And he's like, you heard that, right? When I'm like, yeah, bud. Like, I saw him. I heard him. It's all right. I don't think he means any harm. We're new. He's probably just very curious about us, kind of thing. Oh, we probably sat there for the next 2 hours with absolutely nothing on. Because you could hear him walking around upstairs, and then he'd come downstairs, and he'd run. Like, you could hear the mumbling. You could hear the raspy, old, At one point in time, the only thing that I could really make out was something about my house. And Noah heard it too.
Mm.
So now, I mean, we all know he's here. I mean, my 6-year-old has even acknowledged him, has acknowledged seeing him and hearing him.
Right.
So, it's cool because for me now, this is something that I get to, not only have I had so many of my own personal experiences, but now I'm sharing these personal experiences with my kids. And hopefully they continue on the path.
Right.
They're going to be my next little, generation of investigators. Hot as balls. Yeah, that's a phrase I use often.
Hmm.
Oh, I could only imagine what NASA knows and what our government actually knows that we are probably never going to know. I mean, people have come forward plenty of times. Especially in just the last like 20 years, people
Right.
who have worked for NASA have come forward and, and said some pretty interesting shit.
You want the blue book? Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be one of those things where I guarantee it, give it more time and, more people are going to start coming forward.
Right. Yeah.
I've heard that about Hawaii. Another hot spot is Puerto Rico too. I've heard that Puerto Rico is very notorious, and I think that too in Puerto Rico is where they actually have a special name for the, I don't know if you want to say like spirits or you know what
Is
I
it
mean.
is it Chupacabra?
Well, yes, they have that.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, we kind of experienced a situation like that with a residential case that we had done, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where, I mean, the people, they are Puerto Rican and they moved here and they were having phenomenons happen at their home where they had thought that maybe something followed them from Puerto Rico to here. It was a very interesting investigation, I have to say. That's where I got
That.
groped.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Not in a good way.
I'm surprised Don and Bill did not tell you about that because I felt so
Which place is that?
the Hernandez residential
Oh,
investigation.
all right. Okay.
But that, yeah, that was definitely an interesting place. And the weird part about it was, I wasn't the only female. Christy was along on that investigation as well. And when we were in the one children's bedroom, we both, I mean, and almost at the exact same time, just started feeling as if you just had like 1,000 eyeballs plastered on you, kind of like thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Very uneasy feeling. It was, and then we started to experience what was like the room was literally closing in on us. It got harder and harder to breathe. The room got darker and darker, even though it was already dark as hell in that room. But, it got darker and darker. And then we both decided, okay, we're like skirching out of this room. We're going to go to a different room. That's when I got groped. And I was like, okay, no, you are not allowed to touch me like that. Like it, very definite invasion with where I was groped. I'll put it to you that way. Yeah, I'm okay with never going back to that place. and that's something that we experience, even when we talk about spirits, and personally, I think for me, I have actually had more unthreatening communication and contact
Right.
with the paranormal than I actually have anything, threatening. And and even when we were at the investigation where I got groped, I didn't necessarily feel threatened, but it was like okay, you invaded my space a little too closely kind of thing, you know?
I got touched a couple times. Not in a menacing way. So, which one you're eating? This one?
I'm going back through them all because I know I missed a lot. The
Yeah.
last one I had read was about the hot as balls one.
Wow, you're behind there.
I am. I get talking and not paying attention to the comments.
Must be. Alright. You doing that one?
I did get that one. Oh, you say about being a diver. So it's so my ex-husband, um, he is certified to scuba dive, and so is his oldest son. It's I will tell you, especially with having an ex-husband who is a scuba diver, and hearing stories of people that he knows who are also scuba certified. I definitely 100% believe what you are saying. Because my ex-husband has said some very interesting things already, and he's come home from, an excursion, and it was just like, I mean, I kind of hate to use this term, but yeah, like he saw a ghost, like thing. I mean, he was just pale, no complexion to him, and my ex-husband is dark complected. I mean, just no complexion to this guy, and couldn't even really explain what the hell he saw. And I mean, and that's something where there again, you can find a lot of stories about that. From even your like deep divers, where they come across some pretty crazy shit. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it,
Yeah.
and I think that's something that a lot of people do really tend to forget is, yes, water is like a living organism. The dirt, it's the air. I think a lot of people, and maybe this is why I really got so interested in this field, because it was one of those things for me where it's like the more digging you did, the more you came to realize, okay, we're all energy. Okay, yeah, we're beings, we're called humans, but we're all just energy too. And look how many other sources of energy are around us. You know, one thing that I think has been very interesting in learning is what certain energies put together can do. Okay? So the best way that I can describe this in what we do is, so I have noticed over the years, I can go investigate a place 20 times and maybe very little will happen. But then I put myself with the right other energy sources, like Scott, investigating with Bill, investigating with Don, investigating with one of my really good friends, Jess. It's like our energies combine, like releases something and allows more to happen, opens up the door for more to happen. Have you noticed that, Scott?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's weird when you really kind of like start to break down that process and think about it. It's like, okay, how does this happen?
Maybe it's like an aura.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can be in a room all by yourself and not a damn thing happens for like an hour. But then you put certain people together and it's like nonstop shit happens.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing that have, especially since I started to take notice of that phenomenon, it is one thing that has definitely very much so intrigued me when it comes to the investigations that we do now. And see, and I think for us, that's why we do different techniques. That's why we switch things up and we try different things because okay, let's just say a group of 6 of us go, okay, to any given location. Well, Scott and I might spend a half an hour in a certain room and see what happens. Nothing happens for us. So then Scott and Bill goes in the room and they have all kinds of shit happening. Uh, that is also another way of actually researching the paranormal. It's putting those energies, those people together and seeing what happens, what you get from that. I think the only places that you probably really will never find me investigating, even if I got all my boys with me. I mean, God knows I love my boys, but even if I got all my boys with me, y'all, I cannot do a cave that has water. I can't.
Hmm.
So if we ever hear about any like haunted, caves where water goes through it, y'all doing it on your own, because I'm out. I'm out. I had a hell of an experience in was it Mexico? Jamaica. I can't remember. I will never go in to a cave through water ever again. You guys can do that on your own. Oh, I would love to go to Hawaii sometimes. I know there is a lot of paranormal linked to Hawaii. There's a lot of history with Hawaii too. There's been a lot of tragedy with Hawaii. It's one of those things where we talk about locations, but there's so many different elements that could really be the cause of paranormal activity. And that's why we like our older, you know, locations.
Nice history.
Mhm. Yes.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm about crazy as a loon too. He,
And I'll tell you though, I think especially in our society nowadays, with the times that we are seeing right now, and this is kind of like a phrase that anybody who knows me very well will tell you. This is something that I've been saying for years. Is you know you kind of have to be a little insane to be sane. You have to be. If you've got people walking around the earth that are completely what we would refer to as sane, y'all, we wouldn't be able to handle everything that is going on in our society right now. And I think that's why you see a lot more of like your mental breakdowns and stuff like that happening right now. Because these are people that they've never had to endure any kind of tragedy. They've never had to endure any kind of loss. They've never had to endure any kind of very like what we're experiencing now, with this pandemic. Now this is the first time for me that I can honestly say, experienced any kind of like pandemic like this. But I have endured a lot of shit in my lifetime that, uh-oh, what happened to my screen?
We're still there.
That doesn't make this situation such a bad situation, if that makes sense. Like, it's a really sucky situation. But because of what I've been dealt with in my past, I can get through this and not completely lose my shit, if that makes sense.
Not completely. Yeah.
But that the more things you experience in your life, the easier it is
Right.
to deal with shit.
Right.
What do you want? Come on. Oh, there's my dog. She's like, what are you doing, Mom? Come on. Did you want to come say hi? Huh? But yeah, so what I was getting ready to get out earlier was we did actually get 2 new pieces of equipment here. So the first one I'm going to show is the S box. And so pretty much in a nutshell, what this thing does is it goes through radio frequencies. You can either go through the frequencies in forwards, you can go through them in reverse, you can go through them in different speeds. And if there is anything that is trying to use, this device to talk to us, it's going to come through on more than just one frequency. And this one here is going to be all new to us. I should have got out my old one too. But I had an older version of what an S box is. And it's another piece of equipment to, yeah, I mean, mine looked very similar to that, yes. So it's the same thing. It uses frequencies, but with this one, we're actually going to be able to record and save anything that comes through on this. Mm-hmm. Like the other one that I have, does yours, Scott, where you can put like a memory card in it or anything like that? Does it have its own memory?
No, it says the Radio Shack hack.
Okay.
It's just a radio that was that I altered to make it go through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about with this one is it is actually going to record and save anything that comes through this device. And we don't have to worry about, having an audio recorder. And I call them AR. So if you guys hear me say AR, I am referring to an audio recorder. If you hear me say VR, I'm referring to a video recorder. So we won't have to worry about having an AR right there on us to be able to capture anything and have it saved if something would come through. And this was kind of like a bonus, like a package deal here with what I got. But then I also got a watch. And I mean, it looks just like your smartwatches. I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks just like a smartwatch. But this is actually a recorder. So instead of on my person carrying around one of these, which is an audio recorder, an AR, I now actually have a watch that I can just wear around my wrist, and this sucker will record for hours and hours and hours and hours. And then,
It's got 8 gig in it, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and the really cool part about it is with having something on your person like this, that that eliminates me having one of these on me, and we can actually leave this somewhere else sitting stationary. So it's kind of freeing up one more piece of equipment that we could have sitting somewhere else.
Right.
Or it could be really useful to spy on your kids. Okay. Which I just might have to use it for that one of these times.
Which one are you reading?
The very last one.
Hmm.
The Prisoner's Dream.
Okay, write that down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up too.
Yeah, we got the Tales Tomorrow thing to look up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's just. I think for me personally, this field is something that intrigues me so much, and I don't think I'll ever lose interest in. I mean, honestly, because we don't have. Come on, go back in there without breaking, please. You know, we don't have all the answers to everything. We don't know everything. And there's still so much that we have to learn. You know, and this, I mean, we're not even talking just about the paranormal. You know, we're talking about our own creatures and dwellings that, you know, we share this earth with that, I mean, hell, what do they say? We've only researched like 10 or 15% of our oceans, something like that. You know,
Could be.
so
I'm not sure.
yeah, I know it's not much. I mean,
Mm.
compared to how much water, you know, Earth has, we've only put a very small dent in the research that we have done. So there's, you know, there's kind of like a whole new realm of research that it just absolutely fascinates me. I love learning about this kind of stuff. And the more that I can learn, you know, the more it opens your mind up to things. Damn it, Scott. I took it out and now I
What do?
can't get it back in.
What are you blaming me for now?
I blame my guys for everything too. It's always their fault.
Yeah. No, are you blaming the movers?
Fucking movers.
Yeah.
Don't ever hire a moving company unless you want your shit messed up. No, like I had it in this box, all nice and neat and pretty like, and now I can't get it back in there that way.
Well, don't
Go,
break it.
go figure. Imagine that.
Don't be breaking it before you can use it.
I know. I'd be so pissed off at myself. You have no idea. That's why I said like it won't be me putting in and taking out the battery on like these two things. Like I will make Bill or you or Don do it because I'm notorious for breaking the shit. Like apparently the 9-volt batteries do not like me. They've got something personal against me. Well, my guy, I don't know about you, but we're going on like 10:30 now. I've got I got two boys that need to get their rear ends in bed.
I'll be going there soon.
Oh no, I'll be up for a while yet.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I'll probably be up to like 4 in the morning again. I think I'll be going on looking at some of the stuff you told us about tonight too.
Right. Yeah. I hate to go, guys. I really do. And look, we're gonna do this. So, at least in the beginning, we're gonna do like an alternating schedule. So since we're doing Tuesday night this week, next week we're gonna tune in with you guys on Friday night. And I think Scott here had a really good idea, but we're gonna kind of deem Friday nights our beer Friday night. And hey, today was Tuesday, and I was drinking my tea Tuesday. So you know, we got it down here with what we can even drink while we're doing this. But so yes, the next time we will do a live stream would be next week on Friday. What is that date? Hold on. Oh, that would be the 4th.
December 4th. Yeah.
Yep, that would be December 4th. We're always going to go live at the same time, so, you know, you're always going to catch us at 9 p.m. So next week on the 4th, you guys can tune in and chit-chat with us again. And, of course, you know, you guys are always more than welcome to reach out to us personally as well. You know, we enjoy talking to our followers and fans. We really do. So, you know, even if any of you might have a topic that, you know, you would like to hear more in depth about or just to have discussed, I mean, by all means, yeah, please, you know, throw it out there for us. Definitely.
I'm going to put my email address in there too. Our new one.
Oh, my son loves Discord. I don't know anything about Discord. Like, it's a good thing that I have techies that are part of my team because I am not technically inclined at all. Yeah, no, Noah used it there for a while. I think he was using it mainly to, like, talk to the people that he was playing video games with and stuff like that, so... But yes, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to us. You know, you can reach out to us on this ParaTalk page. You can reach out through our other Facebook outlets which is Paranormal Truth Seekers, and then Scott's page at the Ghostly Gateway Paranormal Investigations, right? Or is it just Paranormal?
Not investigations.
Yeah. Investigations. Okay, so it's
yeah.
Okay. And we both do have websites as
You're
well.
welcome. I look forward to hearing from you.
Oh yes, for sure. You have no idea. Well, maybe you do. I mean, raising boys is a full-time job all in itself. It really is.
I know. I got a 17-year-old right now.
Yeah, it's the craziness in my home on certain. But I will honestly tell you, I love it. I love absolutely. I mean, Scott has seen it so many times personally. Like, I love raising boys. I absolutely do. I think if I had a girl, and she was probably anything like me, we would butt heads. Actually, an awful lot. So it's two of my boys are a good bit like their mom, and then my 6-year-old, that child is, oh yeah, he is his dad's son for sure, out and out. So it was good chatting and talking with you guys, and we'll be back next Friday on the 4th. So keep in touch, reach out to us if you want to.
Okay. I'll be on everyone.
All right, have a good night, everyone.